Good morning, survivors. It's Angie. Today we are going to talk about the cheating narcissist. But first, we're going to talk about something silly. It's raining. Well, it's not raining right now, but it's going to rain again. It's been raining all night, and I personally kind of love a good rainstorm. So, how fun is that? Oops, it's a little windy too. So check this out, and then we'll get on with our discussion. Just got woken up by some thunder. It nearly shook the house. As you can hear, we have massive rain out here. Hey, everybody loves a good rainstorm. Always seems like you sleep better when there's a rainstorm, right? I always think so anyway. All right. So, if you've been with a narcissist, there's a pretty significant chance that you've been cheated on. And that is a devastating thing that happens. So how to, what's going on, why do they cheat, and how do you deal with it? Let's talk about that. I'll have a good coffee. All right, so as you go through your times, as you go through your days, you may start to catch things. Now, when you first got with your narcissist, you probably felt like it was your soulmate, he or she. You probably thought, well, this is amazing. This person seems to care about me and want to be around me all the time, and everything seems wonderful and perfect, and I just really have my soulmate here. That's common, a story that I hear a lot. And even when you don't have that initial soulmate feeling, you still somehow feel like this person is going to be somebody that eventually you find out they're not. You find out, you think they're going to be totally faithful to you. You think they're going to be the person you've been looking for your whole life. The person you've been looking for, sorry, not enough coffee yet, for your whole life. But what it turns out is that eventually, most of them, or not most of them, but a lot of them, they cheat, they hurt you, and they do so without any concern for you and your well-being. So what makes them do that? Here's the truth. Narcissists get bored. Narcissists have a high need for excitement. They require it in their lives. And when you if they become too comfortable with you, if they become too used to you being around, and you don't give them enough drama, well, then a lot of times they'll go out and find that drama somewhere else. And sometimes that comes in the form of pretending to fall in love with another person. Now, I do say pretending on purpose because even though the narcissist might really believe that this is the love of his or her life and that this is the person they've been waiting for all this time, they probably thought the same thing about you at some point. Narcissists don't actually love people in the same way that healthy people do. They tend to love the idea of people. They tend to love what a person can do for them. In fact, if you ever asked your narcissist, hey, what do you love about me? I bet you $10 they told you that that they loved what you did for them as opposed to who you are. Maybe they loved that you were beautiful or that you were good with their family or friends or whatever, but ultimately it was all about what you did for them. Of course, that's why a lot of them come back so often. They come back over and over again because you're a great supply. And so even if they've cheated on you, eventually they'll come back and then you'll feel like, oh, this is exactly what I've been waiting for. He finally or she finally realized that I'm the one, da-da-da-da. Not the case. Generally, it's just a matter of they realized that, the other person wouldn't give them the right supply, or the other person bored them and they needed to come back to you for supply. That's what we call a narcissistic harem. They probably have a bigger circle than you realize. So one day, here you are. Everything's fine. You're with this guy or girl, and you think you're with your soulmate. You think everything's great. You start to get comfortable with each other, and then before you know it, snap, everything changes. That's a narcissist for you. And now you get stood up all the time, and you don't get calls back, your texts get ignored, things like this, and you suddenly become an emotional basket case, and all of a sudden you're worried, and you don't know what's going on. You're constantly checking, social media. Is he or she out with someone else? Why aren't they returning my call? What's happening here? What's going on? You become someone that you're not. You become totally obsessed with figuring out what's going on. Well, and in a way, this is exactly what the narcissist wants from you when he goes or she goes through this, because what they do is they want attention. They want attention. And so when they are able to get positive attention, well, they'll take that. But eventually they get bored with that, and so they'll go for the negative route. Now, the other factor here is the new supply attention. So the new exciting love, blah, blah, blah. It's not real love, of course. Does the narcissist really love this person? No, they don't. They are interested in that person because they are shiny and new and different from you. And just like they were when they met you, at that time you were shiny and new and different from the person before that. It's all about supply. It's all about excitement. It's not about a true, real adult relationship. And that sucks because a lot of us we're stuck with these people for a long time. So, something to know about. It'll start out like you might see some flirty Facebook comments, or you might see somebody liking all the pictures. He or she likes all the pictures of the new supply, or the new supply starts liking all their pictures, making little comments, things like this. And it grows from there. It's almost like they're putting it in your face on purpose sometimes. Or you might find out that your significant other has a secret Facebook profile that you didn't know about, and that's where they do all their digging around. Regardless of the situation, social media is often employed these days anyway with cheating. And in fact, there are some statistics that say that Facebook and the related apps have and websites and stuff have, social networking in general has given us more opportunity to cheat and to keep it quiet, which sucks for those of us who don't do that. And as you see this going on, the new target, you begin to feel less and less secure in your relationship. You start to wonder, is that new target better than me somehow? Is that new person that they're going after, is that person prettier or more handsome than me? Are they smarter than me? Is there something better about them than me? And you know what? 99% of the time, it's really not about any of that stuff. It's just about that person's different than you. That person's new. That person's someone they can, the narcissist can get to know again. A person the narcissist can pretend to have that brand new love with. But again, it's all an illusion, as usual, with a narcissist. Narcissist does not have real feelings like real humans. Maybe that's not the right way to say it. Maybe they have feelings. The feelings are just blocked. The feelings are contained within this area of drama. Another interesting fact is that a lot of times we go, what did we do? Did we do something wrong? And what happens, I've seen, and what a lot of people would agree with me that they've seen, a lot of my clients and stuff, is narcissists kind of condition us to become people that we're not. And as soon as we, even those of us who are very intelligent and together and capable, and almost exclusively us, as soon as they get us to that position where we are pushed down and we are oppressed and we are put in that little box that they like to put us in, well, then they're bored with us. They liked that we had, that we were smart and that we had our own thoughts and all these things, but then as we move forward in the relationship, they get bored with us. And so then they look for someone who is very similar to us, but in a different person. So then a lot of us are going, well, why me? Why did the narcissist pick me? I'm a nice person. Why do I deserve this? Well, the narcissist picked you because you're a nice person. The narcissist picked you because they were able to see that you reacted to their extreme emotions very early on. And this could have happened in the form of them being upset with someone else and you trying to comfort them, or it could have happened initially in them getting upset about something small that you thought was outrageous, but you went ahead and kind of let it slide because you were new in the relationship. But inevitably, that's where it starts. The only mistake you made was being vulnerable to that person, but they kind of manipulated you into becoming that way. Because what happens is when we're in love, we're vulnerable to the person we love. And so they made sure to be in our, be what they thought was our ideal person. And often they succeed in that during the love bombing phase. And you fall in love with that person who actually doesn't exist, which sucks. But you fall in love with that person, and then you find yourself looking constantly for the rest of the relationship. You're always looking for that person that you initially fell in love with, and then you'll see little glimpses of them. Now, what I find interesting, and I might talk about this later today as well, but we had a discussion yesterday in Span, like in a subthread, about how some of us have seen the true narcissist in our lives, and how did we see them? Well, personally, I have seen narcissists kind of let down their ego when they are drinking alcohol, or taking certain meds, or taking certain drugs, or when they're ill, or when they've lost their mother or a family member, or something shocking happens in their life. Anytime when the ego would be temporarily suspended, that's the time that you can get to know the real narcissist. And sometimes underneath all the bullshit, they seem like really great people, decent people who really care. And a lot of times, like we talked about it in the group yesterday, sometimes a stroke will do it to them or whatever, but and a lot of times they will come to their supply and they'll say, I'm a really horrible person and I'm so sorry, I want to do better for you, and they'll do this during these times when their ego is temporarily on hold, so to speak, or the false self is kind of knocked down for a minute. Of course, then as soon as they regain their balance and become their false self again, that very quickly will dissipate. I've seen it happen in as little as a few hours, and some people said a few days. And so, it's an ongoing process, but it's definitely something that is not your fault. And it's them, it's not you. Is that person better than you? Or are they prettier? Or are they more handsome? Or are they whatever? It's not really relevant. You know, you might look at them and think, oh, she's prettier than me, or oh, he's more handsome than me, or oh, he has more money, or oh, she's got a bigger butt. Oh, wait, that's only in St. Louis. She's got bigger boobs than me, whatever. But ultimately, that person will experience the same hell you're going through now, or that you've recently gone through, and ultimately, they don't change. They don't change at all unless they choose to change, and even then, it's usually only in order to manipulate someone into doing what they want. It's the unfortunate truth. Narcissists don't think anything's wrong with them. So that's what it all comes down to. Yeah. So the cheating narcissist, the best thing you can do when this happens, I mean, if we're going to be real here, is go away from them and stay away. You know, you should have standards, and you should say to yourself, you know, these are my deal breakers. Okay, so my personal deal breakers are don't hit me, don't hit my kids, and don't cheat on me. Do those things, I'm out, no discussion. Anything else we can talk about first, right? So you got to have deal breakers in your relationships, and you have to stick to them. And the other thing is that you have to figure out a way to love yourself enough to do that for yourself. Because you don't have to share with anybody if you don't want to. You don't have to accept cheating. You don't have to accept emotional manipulation and abuse. You don't. You have a choice. You don't have to take it. Don't take it anymore. All right? You're better than that. You deserve more than that, and everything's going to be okay. All right? The next thing that tends to come up is that everybody wants to warn the new supply. And, you know, especially if you're still with the narcissist, you want to say, hey, he has a family, or he has a girl, and you need to back off. Listen, don't bother. A couple of reasons. Number one, they aren't going to believe you. When you met the narcissist, you could probably agree that you were told that one of his or her exes were crazy, or more than one, or that they cheated or hurt them in some way. And the fact of the matter is that now that you are the one who's in the, you know, in the trouble spot, the narcissist is probably doing the same thing to you. They're probably talking about you. That person probably already thinks you're crazy. That person probably already thinks you've done things to hurt the narcissist, and etc. So if you can imagine what it felt like to be that person when you got with the narcissist, you can understand that going and talking to that person is only going to make you more stressed out. So don't let that happen. Of course, on the flip side, then you're like, well, I feel so awful. I feel so, you know, abused, and I feel so, you know, thrown aside like it didn't matter. And then you struggle with your self-esteem, and you struggle with all this other stuff. And again, it's normal. You know, nobody wants to have that feeling of having been discarded. Nobody wants to feel that they were so easily replaced when they cared so deeply about someone. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a stupid person. It makes you someone who loves really hard. It makes you someone that would be a blessing for the right person. Okay? So don't allow yourself to beat yourself up about this one. It's not your fault. It has never been your fault. The narcissist was always going to do this, no matter how perfect you were. Okay? So please don't put yourself in that position to feel that way. Remember this. If someone acts like they don't love you, they don't care about you, they don't. People who love people don't just occasionally flip out and start not loving someone for a minute. Okay? People who love you won't say things that cut you to your core. People who love you don't treat you like you don't matter. It's a fact. So don't allow that. Just remember too that the more energy that you put into this person and their cheating and their disrespect and all these things, the more you're going to have that person in your life. And I know that sounds good in some ways, but trust me, the thing is that you should be able to come home at night and feel good. You should be able to come home at night and not feel as though you have done something wrong, not feel as though you are going to be oppressed in your home. You know, you should be able to, or if you're already at home, you should be able to not stress out when you hear the tires in the driveway. You know what I'm saying? There are things that, you know, basic human rights that are taken from you when you get involved with a narcissist. And if you can look at them cheating on you as a good thing, I know that sounds weird, right? But look at it as, you know what, this is my cue to go. This is my cue to move on and to find someone better. But look, the first better person you have to find is yourself, okay? The narcissist does a number on us. He or she tears us apart, makes us think we're not worthy, makes us think we're not good enough, and all of this. So if you can change your mind, redecide. It's not even a word. Change your mind. Decide that, okay, this is a blessing in disguise, because now I can understand that this person really doesn't love me, that doesn't care about me. People don't do that when they care and love about you. And then you can move forward, and you can first start to find yourself, and then when you're ready, move on to someone who maybe is healthier and better for you. And I think that the best way to do that is to go through your own recovery process. They act like they're not afraid to lose you. It's because they're not. You understand? It's because you're replaceable to them. It's because you're not a real person to them. Again, they love what you do for them as opposed to who you are, which really sucks, and it's terrible, and it's painful, and it hurts you. But knowing it is the first step to changing it, okay? You're not going to change a narcissist, but you can change yourself, and you can do better next time, okay? And one way that I suggest that people do that is that they take time away from dating or romantic relationships for a while after they go through this, so that they can fix what's broken inside of themselves and not end up in this situation again. You understand? And I've seen a lot of really positive success with coaching clients in this area, as well as SPAN group members. So if you are looking for some support, join my free online support group, SPAN, at queenbeing.com/SPAN. I'll put that in the comments, not the comments, the description below. Or you can just visit queenbeing.com. There's tons of resources for you there, okay? All right, I'm going to close up for now. I've got a little, my daughter is sick today. She's home from school, so I've got to call the school and let them know and go take care of her for a little while. And of course, we've got lots of client calls today, which life is good, right? Can't complain. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you later today for another video. Thanks for being there. Thanks for being part of my life. Thanks for letting me be a part of your life and a part of your recovery. Have a great day, guys. See you soon.